Okay, we're going to do a install and assembly video of the BendPak HD-9XW. It was ordered 8 days ago and delivered today. This is how it came. Looks like the runways and the major components are crated up decent. Protect them. Total weight was 1,983 pounds. So we'll open it up and get the parts laid out. All right, we're going to get started installing this. We've laid all the parts out. Okay, the first thing we did before the lift arrived yesterday is we went off of the drawing in the manual and got the dimensions of the lift, and we laid out the four corners. We just made some small boxes on all four sides so we know where to start at. We've got to start by laying the posts out. The four corner posts, there's one unique post. It has the mounting bracket for the power unit. So that can either go in the driver's front corner or the passenger's rear corner. We chose to put it in the driver's front corner. The crossbars are also unique. One has what they're going to call small windows, which are these windows here, and those are about 1 inch tall. And the other one has what they call the large window. Those windows are about 1.5 inches tall. And the difference is at the end of the power ramp, there's a single pulley on one side and a double pulley on the other. So this is the double pulley end, which would be the rear of the lift away from the power side. And the front of the power ramp is the single pulley. The offside runway has no pulleys in it. So we're gonna get started putting it together now. Put the crossbars in place. Now we have we've got these guide blocks. They're sliders. When these slide inside the rail, and they capture the ladder bar, which we'll be putting in next. So these go onto the crossbar like this. All right. We have 2 locks on these crossbars. You have this lock, which is the primary lock. This lock, which is the slack safety lock. So when the lift is in use, the cable that lifts the lift up will be pulled taut, and it'll hold the slack safety lock back so it's not being used. Only the primary lock will be used. If a cable were to break, that's going to snap out and lock in as a secondary safety measure. Okay. Pull this down. We'll grab a safety ladder for each side. And the safety ladder slides right in between these blocks. So we're going to slide him in between the blocks. We'll have to hold the safeties back. Go through the second guide block. And we're going to go down to the third hole. 1, 2, 3. Do the same thing on both sides, and then we'll slide it in to the columns. All right. Raise the column up a little. Now we've slid in our safety ladders, are stopped at the bottom. We're going to grab the top caps. And we're going to install those. So the top caps have got 2 holes in them. The back hole is for the safety ladder, the front hole is for the cable. Okay, then we're going to grab the locking screws for this. Pull those off, we can work with them a little easier. 2 screws, 2 nuts. Okay, we'll grab some wrenches. Safety ladder up till there's about 1 inch of thread left out, hanging out, but not down tight onto the jam nut. We've still got some space in between the jam nut. Now we'll tighten up the side caps. Center right. We'll have to wait till we stand it up to tighten that one. Hit that with that gun. Go ahead. All right, we're going to stand this up. Grab on. Try and kick it in place on the floor. Pretty close. Yep. Okay. Now we're going to repeat the process for the back columns. Grab 4 more blocks for each side. Get it started. Probably helps to get this started inside the column before you start putting your safety ladders in. There we go. Slide it in the grooves, past the locks. There we go, 1, 2. We're going to go into our 3rd hole. Now once we get ready to work on this again, we're going to push this safety lock in and we're going to let it go so that it's only hooked on the primary lock. That's what we're looking for. Okay? Grab our top caps again. right? Okay, we'll stand these posts up. Post in place. Okay. The next step, which may not be in your owner's manual, but it's an addendum, is to put these bushings in behind the ladder bars. That's what we're going to do now. This is going to go through, and the bushing just gets pinched in between the ladder bar and the back of the column. And you just got to kind of wedge the bushing back in there. Finger in there. Put the bolt through it. Through here. Throw your nut, washer and nut on it, like that. We're going to repeat that process on all four corners. Okay, we're going to leave those loose for now because they'll be tightened up once we do final leveling. Next, we're going to install our power side runway. Before we do the power side runway, we've got to remove the pulleys or it won't fit in between. I'll grab some light so we can see underneath here. And we will remove those. All right, I'll see if we can get under here and see. Let's see. Right up in here, there's a 6mm Allen bolt that we're going to pull out. See if we can catch that. Same thing over here. There we go, that one popped right out. Same with this one. And then we'll take the pulleys out. Just move them out of our way. We'll have to have them out for cable installation anyway. And we'll repeat this same process on the other end. All right. And now we're going to take the power side runway, which is the one with the hydraulic cylinder under it, and we're going to put it in place. It definitely helps to have 4 guys. 2 guys can do it. It's heavy though. Or block it up somehow. You just forklift whatever you got. We're going to block it up. Okay, I'll raise this side up, go ahead and slide it under. Good. One more. Okay, now we're going to take one end in first. Go ahead and bring your end over. Good. Okay, you want to run yours in, line your bolt holes up. About there. Okay, let's grab the bolts. See if we can get them through. We're off a little bit. Let's come this way a little. Help to have a little drift pin to help line them up. Okay, let's lower this other side. I think we're too high, it's not going to allow us in there. All right. Okay, you want to come and push push this side out here a little? Ready? Go ahead. A little more. Yep. Now, you've got, well, we'll line this up, then you've got 2 options for the offside runway. There's a narrow slot and there's a wide slot. We'll get to that after we get these bolted in. That gets it in there. Slide the bolt through. Then we're going to have a washer, a lock washer, and a nut on the inside. Bolt. washers, lock washers, and nuts. And we will tighten these down. Let's see. And underneath here is just the washer, the lock washer, and nut. All right, tighten down this other side. Close, all right. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing on the offside runway. Grab on. Okay. And we're going to go with the wider setting. So came in, I've got 2 settings for each one. We can have it for a narrower vehicles or for wider vehicles. I'm gonna go with the wider setting. So we'll go to the outside holes. Good? Oh, back a little. All right. Try and line these guys up. It's pretty close right there. We'll get our bolts, nuts, and lock washers. Sockets with us. Tiny bit lower, it looks like. Washer, lock washer, and a nut on the back side. All right. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to put these grease zerks. It comes with 8 grease zerks that are not installed. So in the end of all of your shivs or the pin for your pulleys is the hole for the fitting for the grease zerk. You just need to tighten those all in there. Just throw them into a nut driver. I think they're 9mm, I believe. Yeah. That guy doesn't want to go in very straight. This will be these 4, and there's going to be 4 more in the cross member gussets. There's 4 more pulleys. We'll grab those and do those real quick and get that done. And those are going to be just on the inside here. So you see right here. One, two, three, and four, the four corners. And then after we're all done getting the lift ready, we'll go ahead and grease everything, lube everything we're supposed to. All right. Okay. All right, now we're going to get ready to run the cables. We've got to, according to the manual, we have to extend the cylinder out. So if we can grab the light over there, we'll grab some tools to do that. We're going to have pull the air over here. And it's going to be on the power side runway under here. We'll get some light going. Okay, we're going to take and we're going to pull there. If we can see this, it's kind of hard to see. There's your plug at the rear and the front of the ram. We're going to pull these plugs out. These are shipping plugs. Well, they're not very tight, so I guess we can just pull them out by hand. Okay, there's one. Really shouldn't be Teflon tape. It looks like they use Teflon tape, but that's a good contaminant for your hydraulic cylinders. And we're going to go down to this end, and we're going to pull the other one out. Hopefully it's loose because I left my ratchet down there. And it is. There we go. Okay, now we're going to extend this cylinder out. A lot of times these cylinders, even though it's new, there's going to be a little residual hydraulic fluid in it. So we're going to put a barb with a hose on that and run it into a 5-gallon pail. Grab that. 5-gallon pail. So I've just got a little barb that's the same size. And maybe nothing will come out of here, but just so we don't make a mess, we'll throw this on it just to be safe. That's good. We'll just drop it into a pail to catch anything if it does come out. And now we're going to shoot some air into here. Light air pressure, you don't want to go too much. Try and blow some air into here and extend that cylinder. Okay, that'll work. I don't know if, luckily we didn't have any fluid that came out. That's good. Take our fitting out of here. Get rid of that. We'll just, for right now, to keep any contaminants out, we'll throw that plug back in. Same down here. Okay, now we're going to route our cables. To route our cables, we're going to follow this little guide here in the manual. And basically, it's starting with C is your power post. We're going to start with C and run it through, which would be our third longest. Okay, so it's easier probably just to look at this manual and run these. So I won't do a whole lot of talking. We'll just we'll run these through. Okay. So you can see we've got 4 different cable lengths here from shortest to longest, and they are A, B, C, D based on the length. So this is A, B, C, D. So we're going to grab our C cable. We're going to start with our power post. Let's get rid of our tags. They're not going to do us any good. Okay, Tyler, if you want to run these down, if you want to get a close-up of this, you can see. I'll get on this side. So this cable, this is the lug end, which is going to hook to the cylinder. We're going to run this behind. Well, we've got to raise this up. I'm going to raise this up. You've got to unlock the safety lock. That shouldn't be locked. So I forgot to release the safety locks and set on the primary lock only. So we've got to do that now before we route our cables. So we're going to lift it up just a little bit. I'm going to unlock it and we're going to set on the primary. Now it's stuck back where it belongs. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to walk around and do that to all 4 corners. Okay, we're going to lift a little, release it, set it on the primary, and it stays back. Okay. Okay. Now we're good. All right. Now let's try and run this cable one more. Okay, now we've got to pull the pulley and the pulley locking bolt, basically, or this is the cable locking bolt. It prevents the cable from slipping out of the pulley. We're going to pull these out, and we'll pull the pulley out. We'll have to do this on all 4 corners. There's an E-clip holding this. We'll just put a screwdriver in there and pry it out. Set it up here, washer. Try and catch this pulley as we pull it out. Okay, we're going to be using this pretty quick after we get the cable in, so we'll set everything right here. So we're going to go around and do this on all 4 corners. Dropped that washer somewhere. I don't know where he went. We'll find him. I dropped a washer. Can you see if you can find that laying down there? All right, now we're gonna feed. We're gonna start at the power pole with cable C. And we're gonna go right down here, in between. And then we're gonna grab him. And we'll try and watch one of these cables. It's gonna be difficult to watch them, but if you can see, I don't know if you can see how I've come down through here. Yeah, there's very difficult to see. But I'm gonna go up in here, feed it through, and it's gonna come out the window in here. Okay, back it up a little. Keep backing up until the lug comes to the window there. I'm gonna pull this lug inside. I'm gonna have somebody else hold this. Okay, so now I've come through the window, and we're gonna pull this all the way down to the other end. We're gonna make this a little easier. I'm gonna pause there and grab a creeper. This guy all the way down. And it's essentially, when we get the camera guy down here, the double pulley comes around here. This is gonna loop around the double pulley like this and come back up, and it's gonna lock into the top of the cylinder. It's gonna lock right in here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but push that guy back like this. That'll hold it in there. So now we'll run this back column straight back, which is gonna be cable A. We'll lock that in, then we can put this sleeve back in. Okay, we'll come back up here and we'll run this through the top plate. And we'll just hold that there for now. Let's grab A. A is going to be the shortest one. Get rid of our tag. Okay. Okay, we're going to run A down through here. The way we did C. Lot shorter distance with this one. So if we can see here, we've got our double window. This is where our double pulley's at. And there it is right there. So we're gonna hold it right there. We're gonna reach in there and grab it. Back it up just a little. Back it up, good. And there it is. We're gonna pull it out. Okay, now we're gonna take, you can hand me the double pulley up top. It's sitting over on the stairs, I believe. We're gonna grab the double pulley, stick it in here. So we'll have C coming around the top, like this. We're gonna have A coming around the bottom, just like that. We're gonna take this guy and stick them in there like that. See if we can hold that camera right there maybe. And take the pin I've got the set screw already in here, so we're going to tighten that guy back down. And we'll go back and tighten these totally once. There should be a ratchet with a Allen on it there. I don't know if that's the right one. It's the pin hex. Is that the right one? I don't think so. No. Okay. May have to have an extension, we'll see. Looks like we just make it. So we'll tighten that guy down. We'll save that. Okay, so now we've got C around there, we've got A around here. We're gonna bring A back. And got to separate these two so we can get it in there. Go through here. Lock A on the bottom one, C on the top one. There. Okay, so those two are in place. That'll hold them for right now. Okay, now we're going to do the same for B and D. So I'm going to pause the video here. We're going to run those and then we'll start it back up. So now we're going to go cable B. Try something different here. I think this will probably work fine. We'll run this up right from the start so it's not hanging down. Get it started. All right. Now we'll feed this, go ahead and feed it down through to me. We're gonna go right through here. And we'll go. Okay, you're gonna keep going. We're gonna feed it all the way down through this cross tube to this window down here. So it comes all the way down and out the window underneath here. Keep going. Nope, back up. Had you go too far, right there. Okay. This again will be our bottom one. So this is gonna hook into the bottom here, lug. Okay, right there. And now we'll grab, you wanna grab our last cable, which is D. And D is gonna go up front here. Go ahead and pull the nut and washer, throw it up through the top, and then we'll feed it down. That worked okay last time. There you go. Feed that down through and I'll fish it this direction. Okay, let's go ahead. Now this is gonna go all the way down to this window. Back it up. Back it up right there. Okay, push it. Yep. All right, so we're gonna come around. Now we're good here. Let's go ahead and take this pulley. This is a single pulley. We can throw this in if you've got it off the step there. We could actually throw both of these from this end in now. So make sure I get it around the cable. Pin. Tighten this bolt. Okay, you want to grab the other one? Can you grab me an extension for this ratchet? Short extension. Okay. Tighten these guys down. Good. Okay, there's that. We'll bring this guy down. He's going to loop all the way down around the double pulley at this end and then back up to the cylinder. Okay, we'll take the other double pulley now. He's going to come right back up here and get hooked in. Get through there, just like that. Okay. Another double pulley. Okay. He's going to go on the top. This cable on the bottom. Okay. Ratchet. All right. That guy out of there. Okay. So now we've got all four pulleys in place. We're going to go up top and we're going to put the cross member gusset pulleys in, and then we'll pull all the slack out of the system. So we'll start up in this corner. We'll try and feed this in. Let me get some slack here.
Giving you everything it's got.
Okay. Put that guy up in there. Throw the pin through that side. It'll have to rotate twice. Flat spot against the frame and then rotate it one more time. Good. Okay, so we got to pop the E-clips on. A lot of times it's these bigger E-clips, it's easy to put them on like that, put a little punch up here and just pop them down on. Okay, so that's good. Now if we grab a 10 millimeter gun, we'll put the cable locking bolt in. This prevents the cable from popping out of the sheave. Hard to work with these things with the gloves on. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go around and do the same thing on all four corners. Slack that. Good. Get this pulley back in there. Okay. Washer and E-clip. Go. Good. Okay, let's see. All good. Last one. Hope you didn't put the cable down yet. Little guy wants to keep rolling. take the slack out of the cable so that we can make sure everything's in place before we add power to the lift instead of waiting until afterwards. So we will throw a ratchet strap on here. We'll just hook it here, come back to this cross member. Just start pulling that cylinder back. Everything looks good? Okay, so just put a little tension on it to get rid of our slack. Just double check, make sure everything's in the pulleys where it belongs. The lugs are in where they belong. And we'll check this end. Everything appears to be where it's supposed to be. All right. Okay, we're gonna go back and catch up on a couple things that we never finished from the start. We've got to tighten up the cap nuts. Okay. These were the 4 that were laying against the floor. We couldn't tighten them from the start. All right. Now our cables, the manual says the cables should have 2 to 3 threads showing. So we're going to tighten them up. Yeah, 2 to 3 threads showing. Well, if I get the right socket. It's not that. There's about 2 to 3 threads showing there. We'll do the same thing on the other 3 corners. Pull out the wrench. Okay. We're going to install the pump now. Grab it, nuts, washers. Okay, we're going to put the vibration pad on. All right. right. There. Okay, should be good. Throw that last one on. We have our bracket that holds our flex hose. It's going to get sandwiched in between here. We'll go right here in between the lift bracket and the rubber pad. She'll go just like that, okay? And we also have our, what they call a zero clearance bracket, and our air switch for our airlock that's got to get mounted, and that gets it can be mounted whatever's comfortable for you. So I would imagine we're going to have our air coming from the top, so we're going to mount it there. We'll probably mount it not right there, that doesn't work. Let's try here. We're gonna mount it just like this, I think. Way we can, we're nice and low, we can hold that in while we're depressing this. Right, the other option would be like this. Let's see here. Yeah, I guess we'll go like this. So let's throw these on here. Take out this bottom bolt. We're going to go through that bottom hole just on, we'll mount it right in the rear. So just take the nut and washer off, leave the bolt there. Run these guys through. And we'll see if we can find something to tighten these up. They're biting pretty good, so we can just tighten them like that. All good? Okay. Then we're gonna go just like, it's gonna make us go right here. So we're gonna have to pull this out. Okay, wash your nut on there. You know what, I want to move this up. We're going to leave it right there. Let's leave it. Hell with it. Okay, let's tighten these down. 13, yep, wrench. I don't know if I can get on there. Good? Mm-hmm. Let's go up top here. Okay. I can't get in there. We'll have to have a couple wrenches. Unless you can give me a real long extension, I might be able to get past it. But Other than that, we'll need a, yeah, we're gonna have to have another 13 millimeter. Another 13 millimeter wrench, grab it out of that box right there. Good and tight. The position of that bracket. That's better. There. Now we'll have our air release and our lower. That works good. Okay, we will start running airline now. Okay. Okay. Okay, when we hook these airlines in, you're going to have a nut and you're going to have a little ferrule in here. You're going to feed the nut over the airline, the ferrule over the airline with the skinny part going in, the fat part on the outside here. We're going to take this airline, going to push it as deep in as we can get it here. Push it all the way up in there. Then you're going to run your ferrule up there, make sure it's in, then your nut. Then we're gonna snug this down. You don't want to over tighten this and crush it too much, but you just gotta gotta feel it. Feels good right there. Okay, now we're gonna go to here. There's gonna be a T that goes to the inside here. So for right now, we'll cut that and we'll let them keep going. I want to square that end up. Okay, let's grab a T from over in our toolkit. Pull this guy off. This one's even got a little different kind of ferrules on it. Okay. And we'll run this over. Whoops, run the nut first. Then the ferrule. And we're going to run it into our T as deep as it'll go. Pull these up and tighten it down. Okay, we're just running the flex hose in here now. That's going to carry, this will carry our hydraulic hose, our return, let's see, that looks good, our return hydraulic, and our air line for our airlocks will go through here and run into the under the runway. I have that cutter. So we're gonna kind of put this guy here. We're gonna guesstimate our length. About right there. All right. Not on here. Ferrule. Okay, the airline diagram here shows how we're running all these airlines. This is pretty straightforward. So all the airlines run through underneath. There's a solid tube that they run through to protect them in the front and rear and underneath. So we're gonna get all these run right now and hooked up. the air line up over here. Okay, I'm going to hook the air fitting onto the air switch over here. Okay, I'll put just a little bit of thread sealant on here. Doesn't take much, a couple on the first, a little bit on the first couple threads is all it takes. Hope I can get that around one more time. That ought to do it. Okay, should be good with that line. So we figure out exactly where we want the lift. We will just put a quick coupler on the here for air. Doesn't go right there. Screw into this. Looks like they've already got a little something on there for some type of sealant. Not sure. Size wrench we've got here. There we go, 5/8 of that. Should tighten them both up at the same time. Call that good. Okay. Gotta finish hooking up air lines. Okay. And I'm gonna hook everything up underneath, same way as we've done. I'm not gonna video all that. Okay, we just pushed the hydraulic line through here. So we're gonna hook the fittings into the cylinder underneath. So the two fittings we're gonna use underneath, we've got the hydraulic return line, which is we're gonna put one more of the small tubes through for the hydraulic return. And this is the hydraulic fitting for the pressure line. We'll put those on underneath. Okay. return line goes in the back here. Put a little thread sealant on there. Just a little farther and we'll bring him through at a little angle right there. Okay, now we will go up to the front of the cylinder. We'll put the pressure fitting in, line. Okay, that's this one. This one's going to take a little bigger wrench. You grab me a small crescent wrench from in there. I don't want to make another turn. Vacuum off to right. Go for right there, I guess. Okay. Now we're going to run the hydraulic line. There's some brackets right up here at the top that this runs through to keep it out of the way of the cables. Run that. Pull the plug out of it. And this one does not get any type of sealant. Okay, should be good there. She'll seal up. Okay. Now we're going to pull this excess out. Can you pull that hydraulic line up a little? Yep. Good. Okay. You've got the return line here, I see. We'll go ahead and work with that. Should have a 13mm wrench here somewhere. Guess not. So we should be all set underneath here. Okay, we're gonna hook up the hydraulic lines to the pump now. Pressure line goes in this side, according to the manual. Again, this one does not get any sealant. It's got an O-ring on it that seals it. And then there's a jam nut. Once we don't want to crush that too much, so we'll go about right there because we're going to run this guy in. Let's see if we can get him hooked up about right there. We'll try, see if it makes it or not. Again, no sealant. Not quite going to make that. Let's see if we can see where we're best off to go. We'll go a little bit more down. We'll go right there. That looks like it works. Grab some wrench here. Tighten this jam nut up. Okay. Tighten this guy. Good. All right, now we'll get the return line threaded in. And that comes in this side and the back. Get this plug out. Okay. See where we're going to bring this guy right through here maybe. Figure out our best route. Probably go about right there. Looks pretty good. Take this, we'll loop it to there, and we'll cut it about right there. Guy on there. You got a 13mm wrench handy there. Got it. Okay, we're gonna call that good. All right, that's it. Okay, last piece, this is something new that they've added. It's not in the manual. This is called the ramp support bracket. It goes under the middle of the non-powered ramp. It just spans across. and gets bolted up. That's all it is, just adds a little more support so that this can't blow out, I suppose. Okay, so we've got the brackets for the optional 4-foot aluminum ramps. They go on the same way as the regular ramp. They just pin thread slides through, and then there is locking rings that go on each end. So we're going to put the front parking stops on. You just slide the pin through. It's pretty basic. You've got these little retaining clips. I just use a little smaller socket than the clip. Just force it over there. Do the same thing on the other end. Just like that. We're going to do the same thing with the optional ramps for the back of the lift. And the last is little safety covers that cover up the airlocks. And to pop them on, that's all they are. Do that on all 4 corners. And that's it. Okay, we're going to fill the tank. We've got ISO 32. It calls for 12 quarts. We will pour in 3 gallons. You can also use automatic transmission fluid. It's a little thinner, which works better if you're in a cold climate. The only problem is some people report that it is so thin that it gets past the cylinder seal. All right, there's 2 gallons. Pour half of this in, and after we've run the lift and bled it, we'll end up adding more. But we'll put in their recommended 3 gallons to start. think that's pretty good. Now we're going to remove the ratchet strap from underneath. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and run it. Okay. Pull the air line out. Right now we'll just put a temporary air line and power to it. I've turned the compressor down to about 125 pounds. It says don't exceed 150. So we'll give it a shot here and see what happens. Here our locks need to be adjusted, but what we're going to do is we are going to lower it back down, and we're going to try and level it. Stop is right there. Now we're going to level it, and then we'll adjust the safety ladders. Level the lift, so we can start at any corner. So we'll get this one on, and we'll make the rest of them match it. You grab the gun. Come down to here. I'll tell you on the ladder bolt, go ahead and loosen it.
On the ladder?
On the ladder, yep. Okay, so we've got it all done. We've got it raised up in the air. We've run it up and down about 4 times to bleed all the air. Most all the air was bled out the first time we ran it, but we'll just give a quick picture of the underside so you can see what underneath the ramps, how everything's run. Up to the front, your line's coming through up there. And airline teeing off, and then back down. And then this side, you just got your clear span runway. And I got the 2 boys that built this lift.